Hey, hello Abhimanyu. Welcome to our audience ask segment. And here are my few quick questions for you. My first one, a product or a project which is very close to your heart is.
There is a product that I designed when I was in Hong Kong. It was an audio system. It was a very tough pricing constraint that was given to me, and also timing constraint, because one of our huge big customers was actually coming for a visit, and we had to make this proposal. And almost over a weekend, literally by spending my days and nights, I designed this product, and it was a big hit. I think we went on to sell literally millions of those products. And I have to say, it really came out of one weekend. So I'm very fond of that particular audio product that I designed.
Wow, you should blog about this and we would love to hear. I'm sure our listeners would be more intrigued to know that story. My second one, your advice to a student, should they start up a company or should they work for another company and why?
I think that's a tough one, Rohit, to answer, because look, there is a benefit in both of them. I mean, if you start up something on your own, your learning is just going to skyrocket. Um, and this the kind of things it will teach you will make you humble, but at the same time might take you in the directions that you never imagined. But at the same time, a word of caution, because I have gone through that journey a little bit. The word of caution is not to get discouraged with the initial failure, because I did, and then I changed my tracks. But if you have a little bit of a financial backing, with your family, etc., I would definitely encourage you to be an entrepreneur and really do something on your own. And if there is something that you feel passionate about, and that's very, very important. Please don't do it for money. Do it for passion. Money will come. If you want to join the organization, that also is a great thing. But maybe there is a different kind of like a learning that happens there, which will take a little bit more patience to work through the organizational hierarchies.
Super. That's a very good advice. My next one, a product you would redesign.
That again is a very tough one, Rohit, to say, because every day
No, it
actually.
might not necessarily be a Philips product or your product. It could be any product on
Yeah.
the earth that you feel that, hey, I think I could redesign this to something else.
Yeah, and I was just thinking just yesterday, and it's a very simple thing, but I was just thinking yesterday, the medicine tablets that I take, which come in this aluminum foil, wrapper, and because I get up early in the morning, usually when I fiddle around with them, sometimes they actually cut my finger. It sounds ridiculous thing, but I have always cursed the way they are designed, and they are not easy for tactile feel. Like, if I keep them in the pouch, they should not be hurting my fingers and things like that. So that's one thing that I recently, like just yesterday, I thought about. Oh, we must redesign the way the medicine tablets are actually packaged and sold.
I agree. I've been through the same pain, so I completely agree. My next one, what skills do you think are most important for a product designer?
I think there are two things I would say. One is every designer, not just product designer. I think every designer, the most important skill is to learn. You have to figure out how is it that you actually learn, and you must build on that strength, in terms of whether it's by reading, it's by listening, it's by talking to people, it's by doing things, because there is so much in the world to learn. You will, until your retirement, you would be constantly learning. But what you need is a good way to learn and learn fast. So focus on your learning ability. And the second one, I would say, the skill that you need is always imagine, if you're designing something, always design it for the context one step higher than what the thing is. So if you're designing a chair, design it for the room that it sits in. If you're designing a room, design it for the house that it sits in, the house that sits in the community that sits in the city. That way you expand your mind and kind of inculcate the systems thinking as a designer.
Great. And my last one, a must read book to learn design thinking.
I would say, well, there are a lot of books on design thinking, but there is one book I would recommend, which is not directly to do with design thinking, but will help you a lot in facilitating design thinking sessions. It's by Patricia Madsen. It's called Improv. I think I am forgetting the second word in it, but it's by Patricia Madsen. It's a book about how do you use simple techniques of improv to be successful and be happy in life. And I think a lot of our lessons actually apply to design thinking. How do you be present in the moment? How do you listen? How do you read the room? How do you respect people, etc., etc.? How not to get choked in front of a crowd? Lots of very, very important lessons you can learn from actually reading that book.
Interesting. It's improv wisdom.
Yeah, it's improv wisdom. Yeah, right, exactly.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abhimanyu, for doing this. It was pleasure hosting you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Rohit. It was a pleasure talking to you too.